21,000 people care enough about my videos to subscribe and want to see more of my content. I feel so good about this year, you guys. We made it to 2024, you guys. I am so excited to film this video. Happy New Year. I have been thinking about this video for weeks on end, and I cannot wait to finally share it with you guys. We are getting fully reset, prepped, and ready for a brand new year for 2024. You guys know I love doing my reset videos. I do a monthly reset video every single month. I have for like 2 years at this point, but in January, at the beginning of a brand new year, I always do a yearly reset. And hang on to your pants because it's gonna be a big long video. This is my 3rd year in a row doing one of these videos. I am so excited. Grab a snack, grab your water bottle, pop a bag of popcorn. This video is going to be long. The yearly reset videos are always long. My one last year was like almost 40 minutes long, so I don't even know how long this video is going to be. Sometimes I'll cut content out of my reset videos if I feel like it's getting too long, but with the yearly reset, there's just so much that I want to go over with you guys, and I feel like it's a little bit of a treat to start the new year with a long, like pretty much feature-length video. So grab a snack, grab a drink, settle in, and let's reset for the new year. First things first, as always, we are going to be cleaning up my physical space. I am such a big believer that your space is a reflection of your mind, and messy space equals a messy mind. So I want to clean up my room a little bit. It's actually not too bad right now. We went on vacation over New Year's and I cleaned my room before we left so that I could come back to a nice clean room. So we don't have all that much that I need to do cleaning wise. I've got like some clothes on my dresser. I need to make my bed. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I have my suitcase down there still because I haven't unpacked yet from our trip down to New Orleans. I vlogged the whole thing. That video is going to be coming up very soon. I think it's going to be the next video that I post. So stay tuned for that. But I still haven't unpacked my suitcase. I still haven't gone through all of the stuff that I got for Christmas. It's all just sitting here on my desk. So we're gonna do a pretty quick physical space reset. It's not gonna be too involved because like I said, there's not all that much to do. And then we are going to get into the meat and potatoes of this video. We are going to be going over a recap of 2023. I'm talking highs and lows of 2023, recapping all of my goals for 2023 and seeing how I did. We're gonna go through a little bit of my 2023 bullet journal, and then we're gonna be moving into the 2024 stuff. I'm so excited. We're going to be making a vision board, doing my 2024 bullet journal, updating my Notion. I have so many Notion spreads that I need to update for 2024, including finances, content planning, and updating my entire theme to reflect 2024. So we've got a lot on our plate for this reset video, but I am so excited. If you guys are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Charlotte. I am so happy to have you here. I'm a post-grad lifestyle and productivity vlogger here on YouTube. I graduated from college from the University of Michigan back in April. And on this channel, I do a lot of videos focused on what it's like to be a post-grad big girl, what it's like to be an adult navigating your life after college, including working a 9-to-5 corporate big girl job and being a full-time content creator on the side. So if that sounds like it's up your alley, make sure you subscribe to my channel down below. I would love to have you guys join the family for 2024. And without any further ado, let's dive in and start this reset with cleaning up my room.
I would say we were good together. I would say we had fun, but our trails will never run forever. Something else is on your mind, like everything that's good in life always comes to an end. We're letting go, drifting apart. There's no use trying to pretend. And I know that it's enough. Got the look on your face. You still
It feels so nice. I definitely want to do like a deep clean and declutter and organization video for my room. I feel like I've kind of started collecting a bunch of things in here that I just don't need to have in here. Like I've got a brand new stack of books over there because I got some books for Christmas and I'm borrowing certain books from some of my friends that I want to read in the next few weeks. So I've got like this entire bookshelf over here that has loads of books on it. I've got a stack of books over on my dresser, although those are the books that I'm selling. So I guess those don't, I mean, they're not books that I'm keeping, but there's still stacks of books in my room. And then now I have this new stack of books over there that are books that I'm reading or that I've already read that I just don't have a place for yet. So I may need to do a little bit of consolidating. I also know that I want to go through like my closet and my dresser because there are so many clothes that I have that are just accumulating and like I don't wear them at all. I don't even reach for them anymore. I just don't need them taking up space in my closet. So I may at some point do like a deep cleaning and organizing video or like a closet clean out video. I don't know, maybe. If you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comments down below. If you don't care, I'll just do it and I won't film it, but maybe I'll make like a TikTok about it or something. Anyway, the point is my room is officially clean. I briefly considered taking down all of my Christmas decorations in this video, but I have a thought process of why I'm not taking them down yet. So obviously Christmas has already happened and gone by, but the way that I'm thinking about this is sort of like if I leave the Christmas decorations up while I'm preparing for 2024, it still kind of feels like I'm getting ready for the new year that hasn't happened yet, if that makes sense. Like it's a way of sort of, I don't know, ignoring the fact that I'm starting my preparations and my reset for 2024 after the new year's already started. So that way I can do everything I want to do in this video, like set my goals, do my Notion, do my bullet journal, like get reset for the new year, and then take all my Christmas decorations down, and that will feel like the true start of the new year. I don't know if that's just excessive and delusional, but that's kind of my thought process for why I still left all of my Christmas decorations up. Like I mentioned, we were traveling over the actual New Year holiday. My family and I went down to New Orleans, Louisiana for the weekend of New Year's, and it was so much fun. Like I said in the intro, I vlogged the whole thing. That video is coming up so soon. Let's talk 2023 recap. My goodness, 2023 was quite a year for me. I don't even know like how to categorize 2023. I know that it wasn't really my year is kind of the way that I'm thinking about it. Like I never really felt like 2023 was going to be my year. Like I remember vividly at the beginning of 2023, it was kind of just a cluster. Like I never really felt settled at the beginning of the year, even though I did like a reset video. And even though I kind of like went through the motions of like getting ready for a new year and setting all these New Year's goals and everything, I think 2023 just, I never really embraced it as like my year. And I never thought of it as like, oh my God, this is going to be my year, you know? And then it ended up not really being my year, even though a lot of good things happened to me. I just don't really think of 2023 as like a great year. One of the defining characteristics of 2023 for me was transition and change. It's so odd because I love change. Like I used to rearrange my room all the time. I transferred schools. Like I'm not afraid of change. But I think what I'm realizing is I don't mind big changes if it's like solid on both sides of the change. If I'm like settled in my life as like the before, and then I make this big change, whether it's moving out of, you know, my childhood home to go to college, or transferring to a different school, or, you know, leaving school to come back home. When it's some big change like that, I don't mind those big changes as long as I get back to like my stable, solid life on the other side of that change. So I think that's why like I never found it all that challenging to like go far away to school, because I had like my life here at home, and then I had the big change of moving into your new place, whether it's your new apartment or your freshman dorm room or what have you. But then after you've gone through that, like you've moved, you've gone through that process, then your life is solid on the other side of that change. You are living in your apartment, you're living in your dorm, you have classes to go to, you have school to focus on, you're making new friends, you're doing things like it's solid. There's a plan on the other side of that change. And I think for me, what I struggled with the most in 2023 was that for the first time ever, when I graduated college, there was no solid plan afterwards. Like when you're a kid, you're a teenager, like your whole life is pretty much mapped out for you. You start kindergarten when you're 5 and you go all the way through like your 18th birthday. Like you are in school for your whole life basically. At least like for me, it was you graduate high school, you go immediately to college. and college is 4 years long. And you have this like set trajectory for what your life is supposed to look like. And you always know, even if you're coming home for winter break or you're coming home for summer vacation, there's always like, you know what your next steps are going to be. You know what the plan is after, whether you're, you know, finishing high school and going off to college, or you're coming home between your sophomore year of college and going back for your junior year of college. Like, you always know what the next step is going to be in your life. And what I really struggled with was when I graduated, there was no definable next step. Like, it was totally up to me to decide what I wanted to do. And like, on top of that, there was no right or wrong choice. Like, I find it very comforting that like earlier phase of your life, when it's like the acceptable next choice is like you graduate high school, you go to college. And obviously there are other choices that you could make. You could choose to take a gap year, you could choose to not go to college at all. But there's sort of like the expected choice that you're gonna make. You finish high school, you go to college. And I always found that very comforting, because the like acceptable, expected next choice always lined up with what I wanted. So then to get out of college and to not have a roadmap, to not have someone telling you like, this is what you're going to do next in your life, for it to be totally up to me, and for there not to be like a correct choice to make, like if you do this, you will succeed, and if you do that, you will fail. To not have those like bumpers in the bowling lane was so unsettling for me. It was so scary. I felt really anxious for like most of 2023 after I graduated. And I guess that's just sort of like the meat of, you know, my feelings around 2023, is that I didn't feel settled, and I sort of just felt uncomfortable the whole year because there was so much change in my life. I was a student at the beginning and I was a senior in college, but then I graduated in the spring. So then you have the rest of the 9 months of the year is going to be totally different from the first 3 months of the year, 3 or 4 months of the year. So then I came home and I was like, okay, I'll be home for the summer. And I kind of thought of that as a chunk of time. So then I didn't really feel super settled while I was here at home after I'd moved home from college, because I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to be moving, you know, back somewhere else again later. So I'm not going to get too settled while I'm here. And then I couldn't find a job that I was excited about, you know, in the places that I was looking in. So then I decided to take a job here in Maine and live with my parents for the rest of the year. And that was never my plan. And that was a really hard choice for me to make. And it ended up being, I think, the right choice, or at least a good choice in the end. But it was a very difficult choice for me to make because it wasn't what I wanted. So then you kind of, you know, you have this idea that like you're only here for the summer, and then I'm gonna move out and I'm gonna go, you know, to wherever I'm going and move and get my own apartment and get a big girl job and do all these things. And then it's like, whoops, just kidding, that's not happening. So now you have to like readjust your expectations again and kind of like get settled living here. And that's the thing, like for me, that I'm always trying to work on, is I set kind of like unrealistic expectations sometimes for my life or for certain experiences, or even just like the timeline of when I think things are gonna happen. Like I definitely thought that I would get a job way sooner after graduating than I actually did. So I think that one of the reasons that 2023 ended up being so hard on me is because I had all these expectations and I felt like I was failing, even though I know objectively that I didn't. I'm not failing, but it felt like I was for a lot of this year. And I feel like I've gotten over that, and I feel like I'm back on a more like normal set of expectations for myself, and like I don't feel that feeling of failure anymore, but I did for a really long time, and it was really hard on me. I think that was a big part of it. I think also like living in 2 different places during the year and like not knowing where I was gonna live, not really having like a solid routine for most of the year was just kind of challenging and difficult. So I'm making 2023 sound awful. It wasn't awful, it just wasn't. It was like a very middle of the road year. It wasn't like best year ever. I don't think it was worst year ever either. Like I said, a lot of good things happened to me in 2023. I graduated in 2023. That's a huge accomplishment. I got a big girl job in 2023. That's also a huge accomplishment. Like regardless of what my own expectations for myself were, what my own, you know, what I thought my timeline would be, it's still a really big achievement to get your first job out of college. So like that was a really awesome thing that happened. I got my car, I hit 30,000 subscribers, like I had a TikTok get 1 million views. I got to spend more time with my family than I thought that I would, because I thought I'd be moving away, but I ended up staying. So I got to spend so much good quality time with my parents and my brother and Kerrigan and my friends that live here when they came home for breaks. And I live in a beautiful state and I get to have YouTube and you guys, and I get to make content for, you know, part of my living, which I think is so cool that that gets to be my career. So like there were so many highs in 2023 also, which I think is why it ended up being just like a very middle of the road year. Like the highs were very high, I think, and the lows were very low. So it just ended up being sort of a very medium year. So let's actually get into the nitty gritty. We're gonna go over my 2023 goals and see how we did. I'm gonna move over to my desk because my back is actually gonna fall out of my body. I am in so much pain right now from sitting on the floor, and we're gonna pull up both my bullet journal and my Notion because I ended up putting my 2023 goals in both places. So we're gonna pull those up and go over my 2023 goals and see how we did on everything, all the goals that I set for myself for last year. All right, besties, I've got my 2023 bullet journal here. We didn't fill her up quite as much as I thought I would. I definitely fell off of journaling like hard in 2023. It was a lot easier for me to journal while I was in school because I could just carry this with me in my backpack and like in between classes, you know, work on my bullet journal. But since getting my big girl job, obviously I can't be like doodling in my personal journal during working hours, and I don't use it as a planner anymore where I did at one point. So I definitely fell off of journaling during 2023. There's actually a lot of empty pages in here that I have a plan for, like they're all meant to be book reviews and they're all planned out, like each one is reserved for a certain book, but there actually isn't anything in the space yet. So I may, you know, and we'll talk about this, you know, when we get to my 2024 bullet journal, which I am so excited to get into, but that's coming up. We'll talk more about this when I start filling that out, but I definitely want to start journaling more in 2024, and I think maybe this weekend I'm gonna take some time to like really finish out my 2023 journal and do those book reviews and like finish it with a bang instead of leaving it with a bunch of empty pages. Anyway, let's go back to the very beginning where I made my new year, new goals spread. We're gonna be looking at this, and we're also gonna be looking at my Notion at the same time. In, I think it was July, I made a mid-year reset video where I kind of evaluated all the goals that I set for myself at the beginning of 2023 and sort of revamped some of them to be more, to like fit the rest of the year a little bit more. So we'll be looking at these, and then we'll also be looking at the updated ones that I set in my Notion. So I'm gonna pull that up now also. All right, so we have 8 different categories of goals in 2023. I'm gonna try and go through this like sort of quickly just because I don't wanna spend too much time dwelling on 2023. I really want the focus of this video to be 2024. So we've got 8 different categories of goals that I set for myself in 2023, and we're gonna go through each one quickly-ish. I'm gonna move over here a little bit so I can put stuff on this side of the screen. The first set of goals that I had for myself were my lifestyle goals. I had 5 goals in the lifestyle category. They were to create a morning routine and a night routine, to read 30 books, to have less than 6 hours average screen time every day, and to move to a new city. So the 3 that I achieved were creating a morning routine, reading 30 books, and averaging less than 6 hours of screen time every day. The 2 that I didn't achieve obviously were the night routine and moving to a new city. And to be totally honest, I'm really happy with the way that this went down. The one that I like wish I had achieved that I didn't was obviously moving to a new city, but I have the rest of my life. Like, it's fine. It's totally fine. Just because it didn't happen in 2023 really doesn't mean anything. Next, moving on, the second category that I set for myself were health goals. I had 3 health goals. They were to drink a full bottle of water every day, to cook at home 3 times a week, and to journal every day in some form or fashion. Drinking a full bottle of water and journaling every day are the 2 that I achieved, and cooking at home 3 times a week I definitely did not achieve in any capacity. Next category of goals were my fitness goals. I wanted to close my exercise ring daily and to work out 3 times a week. I could put these sort of in like a middle on my Notion. I put them in italics because, you know, I feel like I did it enough that it wouldn't be fair to say that I failed at this goal, at either one of these goals. But I also feel like I didn't do it enough to count it as succeeding at either one of these goals. Fitness is something that I have just like a really weird relationship with. I used to be a varsity athlete. Like, I was a swimmer my entire life up to high school. I got injured in high school and I had to stop swimming. So I was like a very high level athlete for the first half of my life. And it was a really bad transition out of athletics for me. I was super depressed after I got hurt, and I felt like I lost my identity, and I felt like my relationship with exercise just really changed after I got hurt, I think. And it was really, really hard for me to go from being like at the top of my game, training for like the junior national swim meet, to doing Pilates alone in my basement. It was just a really hard transition for me, and it's something that like I beat myself up about a lot because it's been a number of years since that happened. It's been, you know, I got hurt in the beginning of 2016, so it's been quite a while, but it still affects me mentally when it comes to working out and exercising. So I'm trying to find ways around that and ways to cope with that, I guess. Because like I do enjoy Pilates when I do them. It's just hard for me to get myself to like get motivated to go work out when I'm the only person motivating myself. Next up, we had school goals. I completed all of my school goals, which was so exciting. I knew going into 2023 that it was kind of like I didn't necessarily need this category on here because I would only be in school for a few months, but it was important enough to me to put it on there. So I had 3 goals. I wanted to graduate with honors, have a 4.0 GPA for the spring semester of my senior year, and to get started on my assignments early. I may have fudged the like succeeding on starting assignments early, but I did graduate with a 3.96 GPA. So I'm like, you know what? It worked out enough for me. Okay, moving on. The next category was for YouTube. I had 3 goals in YouTube. I wanted to reach 35,000 subscribers. I wanted to post at least 1 video a week, average, and I wanted to pivot to post-grad content after I graduated. So posting once a week, I did this. I didn't post necessarily every single week, but there were some weeks when I posted 2 or 3 times. I did the 12 days of Vlogmas where I posted every single day for 12 days straight. So it averaged out to 1 per week, so I'm counting that as a success. I'm also counting pivot to post-grad content as a success. I really didn't have a choice because my main niche while I was in school was like a college lifestyle, and once I was graduated from college, I couldn't make college lifestyle videos anymore, so I just pivoted to post-grad lifestyle, and I think it went well enough, so I counted that as a success. We didn't quite reach 35,000 subscribers, but we got so close, which is so cool because I remember setting that goal at the beginning of the year being like, this is insane. We started out the year with 16,794 subscribers, and we ended the year with just over 31,000 subscribers. We almost doubled the amount of subscribers that I had in 2023, which is so cool. And even though we didn't quite get to 35, I'm still counting that as a major success. Like, I never dreamed when I started this job that I would actually succeed at it. I hoped that I would, but like in my realistic brain, I was like, there's no way, like it's just not gonna happen for me. But I just can't tell you guys how much it does mean to me that I get to have this job and I get to share my life with you, and that 31,000 people care enough about my videos to subscribe and want to see more of my content. That's just a really, really cool feeling. Next up, I had goals for my other social channels like Instagram and TikTok. I had 4 goals for this section. I wanted to have 3,500 Instagram followers, 1,000 TikTok followers. I wanted to post regular like mini vlogs, short form vlogs on both of those channels. And I wanted to post consistently on my Instagram, like feed posts. We didn't quite reach 3,500 Instagram followers, but again, we got super close. My Instagram and my YouTube kind of parallel each other, where whatever my YouTube is at, my Instagram is usually that same number, but with a decimal point in the middle. So if I have, 30,000 subscribers, I have like 3,000 Instagram followers. So if it's like 30K on YouTube, it's 3.0K on Instagram, which is cool. So we ended YouTube with 31,000 subscribers. We ended Instagram with 3.1 thousand followers, which again, so cool. And I was good on my Instagram about posting those mini vlogs, so I counted that as a win, but I was not good about posting consistent, like swipe through regular posts. For TikTok, I did reach 1,000 followers, which was crazy. I actually ended up with over 2,000 followers on TikTok, which was so cool because TikTok is one of those things that like I want to do TikTok so badly, but I don't know, it feels way more intimidating to post on TikTok than to post on Instagram Reels for some reason. So it was very cool for me to not only reach my TikTok follower goal, but like surpass it by over 2 times what I wanted to get. Next up, we have my career goals. I only had one career goal for 2023. It was to get my first big girl job, and we succeeded in this. If you guys didn't know, I'm the marketing manager for a local real estate firm here in Maine. I got that job back in September. So we can definitely check getting my first big girl job off my career goals checklist. And the last category of goals that I had were my finance goals. I'm definitely new to the world of finances, but I just love it so much. I think it's so interesting. I think it's so not fun, like, oh my god, I'm having such fun, but like it's just a really intriguing area of lifestyle for me is fitness and money. Finances and money. So my 2 finance goals were to contribute to my Roth IRA, which is an individual retirement account. I wanted to contribute to that every single month. And I also wanted to start paying back my loans. I have 2 loans. I've got student loans and I have my car loan. And I was able to check off both of these goals. I achieved both of these goals, which was really exciting. To be able to like contribute a little bit into my retirement fund every month was such a good feeling, knowing that I'm setting myself up for, you know, success in the future. And as much as it sucks to start paying back your loans, I do feel good that I'm paying those back. I'm trying to pay down as much of those as possible so that I don't collect as much interest. I don't want to pay more than I have to for my student loans. So I've been overpaying my loans every month to help like pay them off faster. So that was really long-winded, but those were my 2023 goals. We achieved a lot of them. I'm super proud of myself. I definitely set some lofty goals on here too, like there's a lot of goals on here. I'm definitely a goal-oriented person. Like I do my best. I feel like I'm living my best life when I'm working towards something. Sometimes I can feel kind of like untethered if I'm not working towards something, if I'm just kind of like existing. So I really liked having these goals. I felt like they were enough to push me to be a good version of myself, but not enough to like make me feel like I had to be someone that I'm not or make me feel like I had to be a different person. So I'm really proud of myself. I think these goals went really well. And even the ones that I didn't achieve, I feel like I made really good progress on. So this is like overall a really big win for me. But I think that's everything for the 2023 recap. It's time to move on from 2023, kiss it goodbye, and move into 2024. I am so excited. I did a little like flip through last night of my bullet journal. I opened the letter that I wrote to myself at the beginning of last year. I'm not gonna read it to you guys because it's a little bit personal, but it was really sweet. I'm definitely gonna write myself another letter. I think these are so fun. But I did a little flip through of my bullet journal yesterday, and it was just so cool to see like where my brain was at during different months. Go through like I have this spread that I make in my bullet journal called like moments to remember during the year, and I just write down like important things that happened during the year. Like in January I have realizing all my classes were wrong. Like in April I have graduation. In May I have when my roommates and I went to Disney as like our senior gift to ourselves. In September I have getting my first big girl job, and like in December I have like going down to New Orleans. So I love this spread. It was just really fun to kind of go through and see, like I said, where my mind was at during each month, what I felt like was important to record during each month. I went through some months, like I said, I kind of fell off during 2023 with my journaling, but I tried to make every month this daily highlight panel where I would just write like one good thing that happened each day of the month. And I didn't write it every single day, but I tried my best on the days that I remembered. So it's really cool to like go back and see those moments and see like just the mundane, like what I was doing with my days. And of course I have my book reviews on the books that I did review. Like I mentioned at the beginning, there are some blank pages, but that's okay. We'll get them sorted when we can. So we're wrapping up 2023 and we are moving on to 2024. I am so excited. I think we're going to do my Notion first. In my Notion, we are going to make my theme to be, I don't want to do like a January theme. I just kind of want to make it 2024 themed for January, and then for February I'll, make it its own theme. But I never know what to do about January because it always just feels like New Year's for an entire month during January. So I think I'm just going to make it like generic 2024 themed for January, and then we'll do month to month going forward. So we're gonna update the theme of my Notion. We are going to update my 2024 goals. We're gonna make my new 2024 finance tracker. And then after we do all those things, we're gonna move into making a vision board based on my goals. And of course, my 2024 bullet journal. So let's get started updating my Notion. I'm gonna head over to Pinterest, grab a few different pictures. I did already start a Pinterest board for my vision board. I did that while I was on vacation, so I've got a lot of different photos already set up. I'm so excited. I'm gonna go grab some of my favorites so I can update my Notion theme, and then we'll come back. I'll show you guys the finished product, and we will go over my 2024 goals and my 2024 vision board.
It's come to an end. We're letting go, drifting apart. There's no use trying to pretend. And I know that it's over. Got the look on your face. It's so hard to explain, but the words is stubborn when you're breathing out my name. Gloria, please. Don't cry for me. Gloria, please. Oh, Gloria, please. Why do everything that's good in life always come to an end? We're letting go, drifting apart. There's no use trying to pretend. And I know that it's over. Got a look on your face.
Okay, you guys. It is done. That took quite a bit longer than I thought it would. But I also did like quite a bit. I updated my Notion regular, like my homepage. I updated my 2024 goals page, and I also made my vision board for 2024. So I feel like I did a lot. I also turned on a lot of my lights because it's getting kind of like stormy outside. It's not even that late. It's 2:57 p.m. But it was feeling kind of dark in my room. It's supposed to snowstorm tomorrow, so I wanted the lighting to be as good as possible. I also, for Christmas, I got this little, like the TikTok light. You're currently sitting in front of my lamp anyway, so I don't know if this is actually gonna make a difference. We're trying to get good lighting in 2024. Anyway, let's jump over to my Notion, and I'm gonna show you guys everything that I did to update it for 2024. So here is my homepage for my Notion, updated. Like I mentioned, I'm just doing like a general 2024 theme for January rather than a January specific theme. I don't know, I'm just kind of like over the cold, snowy, like winter vibe right now, which is weird because we actually haven't gotten any snow. But I'm just excited for like spring and greenery to come back, and like, I don't know, all of the like exciting summery feelings of a new year. So that's the vibe that I went with rather than like a wintry January sort of vibe. Up at the top we have my banner. These are just photos that I found on Pinterest that I had saved to my vision board, and it says hello 2024. I think it looks so good, so clean and bright. That's definitely the vibe that I'm going for this year. I just want that like clean, bright, happy, just like good vibes. For the icon, I chose the sunshine emoji. I just love the sunshine. I feel like it matches my vibe. And I of course updated these photos as well. We've got a journal, some like healthy breakfast, and an apartment to manifest a big girl apartment for me in the new year. I didn't want to make too many changes. I thought about completely switching up my template for my Notion, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to change something just for the sake of changing it for the new year. Like my Notion template works really, really well for me and I really like it. So I'm going to keep it the way it is. I kept all of my 9 daily habits and all my pages, of course, over here. Down here, I switched it up a little bit. This segment is where I usually put like my goals or my focus for the month. But again, for January, I just wanted it to be a little more general for the entire year. So I listed out 5 intentions for the year. These I feel like are a little bit different than my goals, my specific goals, which we'll get to next. These I guess are like my New Year's resolutions, you could say, or like my intentions. They're just more like general overarching things that I want to keep in mind during the new year. So there are 5 of them. First up, we have to be present in the moment. I think I definitely tend to stress and get anxious about things in the future, or I like overthink things that have happened in the past, and I don't really live in the moment as much. So that's something I really want to focus on in 2024. I also want to care less what people think. I put a lot of stock in other people's opinions, and I know that I shouldn't, so it's something that I want to work on in 2024, just like not caring what people think. I'm a huge people pleaser, so it's very empowering for me to kind of like adopt this mentality that everybody doesn't have to like me. Like some people aren't gonna like me. And I've been seeing a lot, especially on social media, like you could be the sweetest peach on the tree, but some people just don't like peaches. And I feel like that's kind of like the mentality behind this one. Back in, I think it was 2022, in my bullet journal, I would put a little quote for every month. And the first one that I used was for January. It said, "Don't take criticism from people you wouldn't ask for advice." And I just love that. So that's what the backstory behind that one. Third is to live my life on purpose. I've talked about this a lot in previous reset vlogs, especially during my 2023 mid-year reset video back from July. I talked a lot about like being the driver in your own life instead of like going through the motions and letting life pass you by. Just really like being intentional with your behavior and your choices and your actions and living your life on purpose. Don't just like let things happen to you. You gotta like make things happen if you want them, like go after them. Which kind of goes along with the fourth one that says be the author of your own story. These ones are similar, but I feel like they're different enough to be two different things. Be the author of your own story to me means like if you don't like something, change it. Like I feel like in 2023, I kind of fell into this pattern a little bit of like, oh, well, you know, I don't like this, but there's nothing I can do about it. And that's just straight up not true. Like there are so few situations where there's actually nothing you can do about it. If you're in a situation where, you know, you don't like where you're at or you want to change something, like it's up to you basically to make those changes and like decide to, you know, put your own happiness first. So that's, again, another thing I want to focus on. And lastly, my final like intention resolution for 2024 is to not take everything so seriously. I take everything so seriously. It's something I've always struggled with my whole life. I don't know. I'm really like high strung, I guess, like tightly wound. I don't know. I feel like I have a good sense of humor, but at the same time, like I said earlier, I get really stressed, I get really anxious, and I just take things really seriously, especially when it's really just not that serious. Like there are things that I get so worked up about that just are not that serious at all. So I want to work on like letting things go and just not being so high strung in the new year. So that is my home page. Next, we're going to move on to my 2024 goals page. Here we are for the 2024 goals page. It's very similar. It's the same template that I used for my 2023 page. Also, I forgot to mention at the very beginning, but I will have a link below to my Notion template. It'll have all of these pages that I'm showing you guys all included, and it's all free, so get in while the getting's good. I know a lot of you guys have started using Notion since you started watching my videos, so if you want a really cutie free template, it's down in the description. It's free. That's all I'll say. Anyway, on to my 2024 goals. Up at the top, again, similar, just like vibes, like little snippet of the vision board. It obviously says 2024 goals. For the emoji, I have this like shooting shining star kind of thing. I don't know. It's the one I had for 2023 and it just fits so well. So we're keeping it. And then for 2024, I condensed my categories a little bit. So we only have 6 categories instead of 8 categories. And we've got a couple different goals in each category that we're gonna go through. So we're gonna start off again with lifestyle goals. These are kind of just like personal goals that I have for my life in general, like who I'm trying to be, the lifestyle I'm trying to lead. Number 1 on here is to get my first big girl apartment. This is something that's so important to me this year. I'm so excited to have my own space and like take that next step in my life. I feel like I'm so ready for it, and it's just a really exciting next step. So that is definitely number 1 on my list. Next up, we have read 30 books. Again, this was the same goal that I had in 2023, and I read 30 books exactly. I finished my 30th book on New Year's Eve. So I definitely had kind of like a interesting, funky year with reading last year. I definitely like fluctuated a lot month to month between how much I was reading. Some months I read so many books, other months I didn't read any full books at all. But I figured if I could get to 30 in 2023 with as much turmoil and change and just like uncertainty as there was, I feel like I can do it again in 2024. I absolutely love reading. It's one of my favorite hobbies. So I feel like that'll be a nice, easy, not easy, but standard goal for me. I've already done it 1 year, so I know I can do it again. And the last thing I've listed for lifestyle goals is to maintain that under 6 hours of daily screen time average. This was something that I worked so hard on in the last couple of years, and I'm so proud of myself for this. My screen time in like 2020 and 2021 was insane, like obnoxious. It would be like 10 and 12 hours a day. And it's just unacceptable, honestly. I'm like, there's so many better things I could be doing with my time. Like, you just don't need to be doom scrolling that much. So if you guys were watching my channel in, 2022 and 2023, I had those goals to get under 6 hours a day, and it was really a struggle for a while. Like, it took me a while to get there, but I feel like I have gotten there. I'm consistently under 6 hours a day on my phone now, and that's just like what I'm used to now, which is so exciting. So I definitely want to maintain that. I may at some point during the year switch it up and like maybe I'll make it go down to averaging less than 5 hours a day or something, but that's what we're going with right now. I may also add or take away to these goals as the year progresses, but this is kind of like where I'm starting. So these may change a little bit going forward, but this is a good starting point, I feel like. Next category is my health goals. These are just like general health. It could be my physical health or my mental health, my emotional health. First up, I want to try one new recipe each week. That is something that I feel like is going to get me cooking more rather than just saying like cook more. I want to try and like make these goals attainable. So I figured, trying one new recipe a week could be a really great way to do that. And it could just be like something I find on TikTok, or if I end up getting a cookbook or something, like trying one new recipe from the cookbook each week. Just an easy way to kind of like cook more and eat at home more. I ate out so much in 2023. I mean, ridiculous. So I think that'll help me eat at home more often. Next up, I want to maintain drinking at least 1 bottle of water every day. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I've got my reusable water bottle that I'll be bringing with me wherever I go. So I think that one should be pretty attainable. And journaling every day, whether that's journaling, by hand, pen and paper, on my phone or on Notion or what have you, just like getting my thoughts out some way, some type of way. I also wanted to, it's not specifically listed on here, but it's something that I do want to focus on, is I want to get more consistent with my bullet journaling. I think we'll talk about this when I actually fill out my journal, but I think in 2023, some of the fun, like some of the joy that I used to have from bullet journaling got like sapped away. I don't know where it went. I don't know why it went away, but bullet journaling for me in 2023 was just not as enjoyable as it has been in the past, which is weird because I usually love doing it. It's usually a big stress reliever for me. It's really fun. I think what happened, I started doing it only when I needed to, like for the vlog. For like my monthly reset videos, I would be like, I need to do my bullet journal for the reset video. And then I would feel all this, like, I'd feel so overwhelmed because I'm like, I need to get this done like for the video. And I wasn't doing it for myself anymore. So I want to get back in 2024. I want to get back to bullet journaling and doing these things for myself, not doing them for content, not doing them for the vlog, just doing them for myself because they make me happy and it's a nice hobby to have. So that's not expressly listed in here, but that's something that's kind of like in the back of my mind about that like daily journaling goal. Next up, we have my fitness goals. I hesitate to put like a specific type of exercise on there, but maybe I will put just like create a consistent workout routine. We'll try that out, see how that goes. Other than that, obviously I just moved over my clothes exercise ring goal because that should have been on fitness instead of health. I could go either way, but whatever. I also want to increase my mobility, especially in my hips. I've been having so much back pain recently, and I think it's because I'm just really tight, like all around. My big girl job is a desk job, so I just sit at my desk all day. As we've already established, I don't really enjoy working out, so I'm not moving my body a whole lot. So I think I'm just like really tight and really stiff, and I don't have a lot of mobility in my body. So that's something I want to focus on, increasing my mobility, especially in my hips, because that is like connected to your back, and I don't know, somehow your hip mobility affects your back. I also want to, like we talked about in the very beginning, I want to improve my relationship to fitness and to working out. I wouldn't say that I have an unhealthy relationship with fitness. I just feel like I just don't like it. Like I don't feel like there's anything unhealthy about it, about like my relationship to working out and to fitness. I just would like to take it from maybe like a negative or like neutral relationship to a positive relationship where I can view it, instead of like viewing workout as like a punishment or like a burden, viewing working out as a privilege. Be like, I get to move my body now. Like I get to finish my day, my long day of sitting at a desk with moving my body, going on a walk, doing Pilates, whatever. So I want to try and like adjust my mindset around working out into a positive thing where it's something I look forward to and it's something I'm excited about during the day, rather than something that I'm like, I have to do that. Okay, the next category, I condensed my YouTube goals and my social media like Instagram and TikTok goals into one, and I called it content goals. This is by far my biggest category, but again, it's because I combined 2 of the other categories. So the first 3 are numbers. These are reach numbers, I feel like, but I think I think we could make it happen. So I'm shooting for 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. 50K just seems like such a big milestone that it felt wrong to put any other number on there. So we're shooting for 50K. I'm also shooting for 10K on Instagram and TikTok. I feel like this one is a little bit more of a reach, but I really want to start taking those two platforms more seriously in 2024, like taking them seriously the way that I take YouTube seriously. Posting consistently, having a content plan, having a schedule, and treating it as part of my full-time job, which I started doing like towards the end half of 2023, and that's where a lot of my growth came from on both of those two platforms. So I think 10K might be a little bit lofty for both of those, considering I'm under 5K on both of those platforms right now. But when do you have a better time to set a lofty reach goal than the beginning of a new year? And also, a year is a long time, so you just never know. Outside of numbers, I want to reply to my comments weekly. I really fell off replying to comments, especially during Vlogmas. It's been so hard for me to balance my time since I've started working a big girl job. I'll like schedule a video to go live, but I'll be at work when it actually goes up, gets published. So I don't have like immediate availability to respond to the comments anymore. And then it's just not top of mind and I completely forget about it. So I feel like there were probably like 10 or so videos in there somewhere at the end of 2023 where I just like did not reply to anyone's comments, which I hate. I always try to respond to comments if I can. I try my best to reply to every comment or like react to it in some sort of way, because like, you guys are everything. I don't have a platform without you guys, and it means a lot to me when you guys like engage with my videos and like them and comment on them. And I love chatting with you guys in the comments or like over on Instagram DMs. So I really want to focus on responding to those comments as soon as they come in, if it's possible for me. Last two goals on here, I want to have a consistent posting schedule for YouTube and for Instagram and TikTok. Kind of going along with that, I want to consistently plan my content ahead of time. This is specifically more for Instagram and TikTok than it is for YouTube, because I do kind of plan my YouTube content pretty much like at the beginning of every month. And I want to start doing the same for Instagram and TikTok, really just planning things out in advance, just so there are no like gaps in my content. Because I find for me, most of the gaps in my content when I like skip posting for a week or something, it's not that I don't have any content ideas, it's just that I didn't like come up with it ahead of time and I didn't get it edited ahead of time, so it didn't go up on time. Next up, we have my career goals. Last year I only set one career goal because I was thinking of my career as outside of my own personal brand and like my social media, but I want to think of that as my career because it's a lot of work. It pays, like it's a job, it's a legit job. So I want to think of that as my career also. So I have a couple goals on here and I hesitate to talk about them because I don't want to like announce something and then have to take it back later, but go big or go home for the new year. First up, I want to start building a digital brand outside of my content, like maybe a small business, selling my Notion templates, selling budget templates, maybe starting like an online Etsy store or something where I'm selling like journal prompts or productivity trackers, or I don't know exactly what it would be, but it's been something I've been thinking about a lot recently, and something that's always been a goal of mine is to be a business owner. So I want to start building that brand, specifically like a digital brand. I don't think I'm ready for physical products yet, but building up that digital brand for 2024 and seeing if I can turn that into something. Next, this has a question mark on it, so I don't know if this will actually happen, but it's been something I've been thinking about again quite a lot recently, is maybe starting a podcast in 2024. I have an idea of what the podcast would be, so that's really exciting. I might be starting that in 2024. Let me know in the comments down below, as honestly as you can without being mean, if you actually listen to podcasts or not, because I want to know if people will actually listen to it. And if I started a podcast, honestly, would you listen to it or not, and why? Like, you can say no, just please be nice. Like, oh no, like I wouldn't listen to your podcast because I don't like listening to podcasts. Or like, yeah, Charlotte, you should totally start a podcast. Like, I'll be your first listener. Just let me know what you're thinking, because I don't want to do it if there isn't an audience for it, but I think it could be really fun. Okay, my last career goal for 2024 is to sign with a management company, especially if I'm gonna have a full-time big girl job on top of my full-time content creation. There just is not enough time in the day, especially if I wanna have hobbies and downtime and like rot time. There just is not enough time in the day for me to be filming all my content, editing all my content, and managing all my brand deals on top of literally everything else going on in my life. So I'd like to sign with a management company so they can kind of take a little bit off my plate in the content creation department and potentially help with like a podcast and a digital brand. We'll have to see. All right, my last category is finance goals. I actually only have one goal in here right now, and it's again to contribute every month to my retirement account if possible. I'm pretty new to setting financial goals, so I didn't want to set like, have X amount of dollars in my savings account or, try and open too many bank accounts or something. So right now we're just sticking with contribute to the retirement account every month if I can. That's my sole financial goal right now. I'm sure as the year goes on and I get more comfortable with my finances and like being a big girl and having big girl finances, that will change. But that's the sole financial goal right now. So those are all the goals that I set for myself so far in 2024. I feel so good about this year, you guys. We talked in the beginning about how 2023 just like wasn't my year. 2024 is gonna be my year. Like I can just feel it in my bones. Like 2024 has such good energy. I don't even know how to explain it. It just feels like it's gonna be a fantastic year. I'm turning 23 this year, and for some reason, I don't even know why, I'm so excited to be 23. I feel like 23 is your first year of like real true adulthood. I don't know. So I'm really excited for this year. I'm excited to be 23. I'm excited to see how all these goals pan out. Last goal that we talked about were my finance goals, which reminds me, I wanted to show you guys my updated finance tracker. So one of the spreads that I use literally every single day of my life is my finance tracker on Notion. I've used this since 2022. I still have my template from 22 in case I need, for whatever reason, to go back and look at my finances. So I've got this finance themed banner up the top, obviously some money as my little icon. This template is linked down in the description. Again, it's free to use. A lot of you guys have mentioned that you really like using this template, so it's down there for you. It's a little bit complicated, but it's what works for me. I go over a more in-depth version of this template, like explaining everything in my Notion tour video back from the fall, so I'll link that video up in the cards if you guys want to know a little bit more in depth about this tracker. But basically you have two tables down here where you input all the money going into your account in one and then all the money coming out of your account in the other. I personally have 3 separate bank accounts for 3 separate reasons, so I have a different tab for each bank account, but it all works the same. You literally just put in, on the top table, you put in all the money that comes in, and on the bottom table, you put in all the money that comes out, and then up at the top, it auto-calculates for you. And it's a really good way for me to like track my spending, basically like balance my checkbook. Obviously, I have my online banking statements and everything, but this is a good way for me to kind of check myself and see what I'm spending, and also like making sure that all the money that's coming into my account, going out of my account is supposed to be there. I do carry a couple credit cards, so I'm always like sort of aware of credit card fraud, so I always make sure to track all of my spending on my credit cards in this template as well, and it just helps me keep my peace of mind, make sure that, nothing suspicious is going on with my money. So we updated that for 2024. We've got a fresh new template. Everything is starting out blank slate. I am so excited. I love this thing so much. It's probably my favorite Notion spread that I use. Okay, and now the time is upon us. Y'all, I am so excited. We are going to do my 2024 bullet journal. I got this bullet journal for Christmas. I asked for it for Christmas and got the exact one that I wanted, which is so exciting. Shout out to my brother Morgan and Kerrigan for getting me this bullet journal. It's from Amazon. I'll link it down below if you guys want to get matching bullet journals, but it is this gorgeous, like, royal navy blue color, and then it has this gold embossed dandelion on the front. So cute, so different from 2023. We chatted about this for a second. I promised that we'd bring it up later, so here we are. In 2023, this was my bullet journal. It was this really pretty neutral color, and it had this little gold embossed like wheat sprig on it. So pretty, loved this journal. However, I think one of the reasons that I ended up feeling less creative and less inspired with my bullet journal in 2023 was that I leaned a little bit too hard into the like neutral aesthetic in 2023 in this journal. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved this journal. I loved the vibe. If you guys want to see a full flip through of this journal from back when I made it, you can go back to my 2023 reset vlog. I'll link that in the cards as well. I went for a very like neutral, warm brown and gold tones and green like plants for this journal. And if you just kind of flip through like briefly, you can see immediately like every page has this sort of like neutral vibe to it. Like they all sort of look the same, like they match, there's a theme. And I love a good theme, right? Like it all looks similar. I think it looks really, really good, but it got really samey after a while. Like everything started to kind of blend together and the months weren't unique. It didn't feel like any of the months had their own personality or their own character. And it just wasn't like creative anymore. Like you can't tell when you look at my like daily highlight and my habit trackers on each page which month it belongs to, because I did them all in the same color scheme, the same format, the same style, the same vibe, except for February. I experimented with making it pink, didn't like it at the time. I was like, nope, I'm sticking with my neutral browns. But then everything just got sort of like, it wasn't new and exciting anymore after like 2 or 3 months of doing the same thing. I was like, I'm just doing the same thing over and over every month. Like this isn't fun. So I think that was the reason that I kind of like fell off of my bullet journal in 2023. So for 2024, I wanted to not have that happen again because journaling is one of my favorite hobbies. It's so fun. It's so relaxing. So we went with a brightly colored journal. It's so pretty and we are going to be filling it out together. I was up until quite literally 3 o'clock in the morning last night, penciling out all of the spreads that I want to do in this journal for just like 2024 in general. I haven't done any of the things that I want to do for January yet. I figured there's enough going on in this video already. I can work on the January stuff after I'm finished filming this video. We've got a bunch of different spreads that I have sketched out that I basically just need to like fill in with my markers and my colors. I'm going to be using colors and neutrals, but I'm gonna be using color. We are going to get started. I am so excited. I'm gonna go with a little bit like funky color scheme to start off. It's gonna be like teals, yellows, and browns. I don't know why. I'm just so obsessed with this color scheme right now. I think it's so pretty. And it's still like captures the essence of like a neutral aesthetic vibe, but it still has that color in there, which I really like, and I feel like it'll match the color of the outside of the journal really well. So I am going to get started on filling these in, coloring them in. It's going to be dark by the time I come back. It's 3:56, so the sun is going down up here in Maine, but that's just the way it is. We got as much daylight as we could. I'm gonna start filling in these spreads. I will come back to you guys and show you the finished product when they're done. Good morning, you guys. It's actually the next day, obviously. It is snowing so hard right now. It's absolutely blizzard conditions outside. Total whiteout. That's my car down there, completely snowed over. It is such a cold, snowy day today, which means that it is the perfect cozy stay in and journal type of day. I worked on my journal obviously last night, and then I have also been working on it this morning, and it's just been so cozy and fun, and I'm so excited to show you guys the finished product. I also realized I totally forgot to show you guys my vision board yesterday when we talked about my Notion, so I'll be showing you that after we do my bullet journal. And then we'll be all set for 2024. I'm so excited. So I'm trying to think of the best way to show you guys my journal. I think I'll probably set you up on my tripod and just do like a flip through. All right, here is the bullet journal. Obviously I showed you guys this yesterday, so we'll just do a flip through to the spreads that I worked on. This journal did come with some pages like a key and stuff that I can color in if I want to, but we'll have to see. Here is the first page. I think it is so pretty. I decided to go with kind of like a teal, green, yellow, and brown vibe like we talked about yesterday. I just think it's really nice Still like neutral-ish, but not as neutral as my 2023 journal. I found this spread on Pinterest and kind of like customized it to fit my color scheme and everything, but I think it's so pretty. We flip over, the first spread that I made is this like 2024 at a glance spread. So we've got mini calendars of each month and then a little bit of space underneath to like highlight certain dates and write down important things that are happening during each month. This is a little bit different than my moments to remember page. This isn't going to be for memories. This is more going to be for like planning purposes. So I'll fill in like birthdays, or if there's times when I know that I'm traveling or something, I'll put those in here. Next is my 2024 year in pixels and my letter to myself. So even though we're a couple days into 2024, I haven't started filling in my year in pixels yet, but I've been keeping my ratings for each day on a sticky note so I can fill them in later. And I decided to do them as star ratings for each day, 5-star to 1-star. I've seen these before where people measure them by their mood, where it's like, oh, I was super happy today, or I was really sad today. But I am a very emotional person, and I usually feel the wide range of emotions during each day. So that's not always a very effective way to track for me. So I figured a star rating would be better for me, and obviously I'll fill this in for every day of the year, hopefully. Over on this page, we've got my letter to myself. This is just an envelope that I put in here. I'm gonna put my letter in here after. Over on the next spread, we have my 2024 goals written out. I actually added a few since we talked about them yesterday on Notion. For lifestyle, I have this on my vision board, you'll see, but I wanna have a relationship in 2024. I feel like that is a big part of my life where I'm lacking, and it's something that I want to change going forward. So we're putting that as a goal for 2024. The only other thing that I added was another financial goal. I want to stick to a monthly budget every month. In 2023, I tracked my finances, obviously, but I didn't really have a budget, so this year I want to make a budget and stick to it. Obviously it can change every month, but I want to try and make one every month and follow it, even if they vary month to month. And I have this little brown piece of paper and I wrote 2024 goals in the middle, super cute. Flipping the page again, this is where we have my moments to remember page. So this is where I'm going to write down like important memories from each month of the year. Obviously there's a space for all 12 months, and I wrote each month in those colors that I went with at the beginning. Next page, we have one that I am arguably the most proud of on here. I think this looks so good. This is my 2024 reading log. Obviously we set my goal to be 30 books, so over on this side there are 30 little books that I can color in as I read them. And then over on this side I have the actual log where I'll put, you know, title, author, the date that I read them, and my rating. I just think this is such an aesthetic spread. I did something very similar in my 2023 journal. This was my 2023 journal, and I think it turned out so cute. Like I colored in all the books to match the covers when I read them. So I'm really excited to see it filled in for 2024, the way it got filled in for 2023. One main difference though is that this whole spread is dedicated just to books, and then if we flip the page, we've got a space for movies and TV shows. Then on the facing page, we have my 2024 playlist with a space for each month where I can write in like my favorite songs or my favorite artists of each month. I've never done a spread like this before, but I think it could be cute. And then my final spread for like general 2024 before we would get into my monthly content is my content and social media tracker, if you will. So there's a little box for each month, and in each box there's a space to write down my numbers for YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok so I can track my progress throughout the year. And that is everything that I've done so far. Like I mentioned yesterday, I'm gonna wait to do my monthly content for January. I'm gonna do that off camera just because this took 2 days already, and I'd rather get this video out and show you guys my January spreads a little bit later on as the month happens. So that is the 2024 bullet journal. And then the last thing that I wanted to show you guys that I promised I would show you yesterday but completely forgot is my 2024 vision board. I will put it up on screen right here so you guys can see it. I am really proud of this vision board. I'm actually relatively new to the process of making vision boards, so this isn't something that I've done every year. I actually made my first vision board last year during the middle of 2023. I made a vision board for the second half of the year, and it was so fun. So I'm really proud of the one that I made for 2024. The way that I made this was basically just thinking about my goals and then looking for pictures on Pinterest that reflected those goals. So we've got some pictures about moving into a new apartment. We've got some pictures about my career, like YouTube and maybe starting a podcast. Obviously on there we've got my little Charlotte Pratt YouTube handle with the 50K subscribers. since that's a goal. That's something I want to manifest. And then on there, I've also got relationship stuff, whether it's a romantic relationship, my relationship with myself, or my relationship with my friends, since those are all 3 different forms of relationships that I want to work on in 2024. So I'm really happy with this. I think it's so cute. I already set this as my lock screen on my computer, and I'm going to make a vertical one so I can set it as the lock screen on my phone as well. So here's to 2024. I hope everything on this vision board comes true. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I just have a feeling about 2024. I haven't felt this way going into a year in a little while. I think the last time I felt this way was in 2022. I just had a feeling about 2022, and then it ended up being such a great year for me, and I'm feeling that way about 2024 also. So I think it's going to be a really good year. I'm so excited for just everything in 2024. I'm excited to see what happens in my life, see what direction my life goes in, see what direction my content goes in, and basically just live like a super active and fulfilling life in 2024 and like live that life on purpose like we talked about with my goals and my intentions. So I absolutely cannot wait to experience everything this year. I hope you guys are excited to come along with me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like on it for me down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would love to have you guys join the family and help me reach that 50K subscriber milestone. And if you don't already, make sure you head over to Instagram and TikTok and follow me on both of those platforms as well. I'll be posting a lot more content over there this year, and I would love to have you guys over there as well. But that is gonna do it for this first video of 2024. That is so crazy. I cannot believe that we are already here. It's already January. Oh my god, I feel like the time is just moving so fast, like so much faster than I was anticipating, but I am so excited. I can't wait. I hope you guys all had a wonderful new year, and I am wishing the best for each and every one of you in 2024 as well. Let me know down in the comments what goals and resolutions you guys have for 2024 and if they line up with any of mine. But that is gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.